feel like investors have come back. They're here kind of today. Market's bouncing around again, seeing some outperformance, though, especially when it comes to some of those big tech names.
Yeah, but the direction for much of the day was kind of unclear. I mean, on the S&P 500, we were down as much as half a percentage point and as high as 1.3% today. So I don't know. Are investors trying to figure out exactly which way things should be moving?
You know what? Let's just take the cooler than expected CPI report for what it was. It was a good sign, and I think investors are happy with that for now. And that's really all I can work on for now because so much is unknown.
I don't know, guys. I think we're fading. I mean, I hear you that the Nasdaq 100 is still up, but the Dow's negative. You look at the Russell, you look at the S&P, that's rolling over too, and it really just begs. If we fade into the close, that's never a good technical sign as we head into tomorrow.
And again, not to sort of look at everything through a pessimistic lens, but when you look at an S&P where the big decliners on the day all seem to be in that more consumer-facing part of the economy, your Hershey's, your Targets, Dollar Tree. Don't forget the airlines down for another day after some of those profit warnings that we got out of Delta and American here. So there's a huge segment of this economy, at least through the eyes of investors, that maybe isn't quite living up to what we're seeing on the other side of that ledger when it comes to big cap tech. And I do want to start there on the far right of your screen with the NASDAQ composite up more than 200 points on the day. Similar move for the NASDAQ 100, each up about 1.2% here on the day. And that's because 8% jump on Tesla, 8% jump on Micron, 6% jump on NVIDIA. Chip stocks, at least for today, back in vogue. The S&P up 0.5%, or up 27 points. The Dow, though, is going to close in the red, down about 0.2%. And the Russell 2000 clinging to a modest gain, higher by 0.1%.
Yeah, and to Alex's earlier point, I mean, most names in the S&P 500 are, in fact, lower today. 322 to the downside, 180 Scarlet to the upside.
All right, let's take a look at the IMAP, which splits up the S&P 500 into 11 industry groups. A real mix here. Tech, communication services, and consumer discretionary really representing big tech names, all up by at least 1%. And then in terms of the decliners, consumer staples, as Romain mentioned, healthcare and materials, basically a lot of the sectors that had gained during this period where investors went risk off.
All right, guys, to some of the individual gainers. Vistra Corporation was up almost 12% at its highs today, finishing the day with about a 6.7% gain. Overall, we did see nuclear power stocks rising after tech and energy companies pledging support to the wider use of nuclear power to cater to surging demand from all of those data centers and also from factories. Amazon.com, Meta, Occidental, and Dow are among the initial members of what's called the Large Energy Users Group, which is backing a global effort announced in 2023 to triple the world's nuclear capacity by 2050. So a move certainly in those names. Intel up about 4.6%, finishing off an earlier gain of about 7%. That was its high intraday, but still about 4.5% higher. Reuters out saying that TSMC has pitched NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, and Qualcomm about taking stakes in a joint venture that would operate Intel's factories. So under this, TMC would run the operations of Intel's foundry division. It would not own, though, more than 50%, according to Reuters, citing people familiar. Any final deal apparently would need approval, though, from the Trump administration. And Tesla, folks, check it out. Number one gainer in the S&P 500 today, up 7.6% at its gain today. Of course, President Trump highlighting Teslas yesterday. I will point out a second analyst covering Tesla is bracing for vehicle sales to drop this year rather than rebound from the first annual decline in more than a decade. So even though Wall Street commentary, some concerns, we did see investors come back in a big way in this one. It's still down a lot for the year, down about 40%.
All right. Speaking of stocks that are down, I do want to start with airlines. Romain, you mentioned it. An airline that I'm highlighting today is United, down 4.7%. But airlines as a whole continued their descent today. The latest batch of U.S. inflation data showed that airfares posted their steepest month-over-month decline since June. Stuart Paul from Bloomberg Economics was on with us. He reminded us of the seasonality here, and that this time of year we're not seeing a lot of demand, and also compared to sort of the holiday months. But it does still add to a sign of a downturn in travel demand flagged by carriers in recent days. As a reminder, this week we got two of the biggest U.S. airlines, American and Delta, slashing their financial forecasts, and a host of major retailers too warning about demand. This is concerns, adding to concerns about a potential recession. Harley-Davidson shares falling today, ticker HOG, down by 5.7%. One of several U.S. exporters that fell after the European Union launched countermeasures against new U.S. metals tariffs. Proposed targets including steel and aluminum products, motorcycles, beef, poultry, and spirits. Speaking of spirits, Brown-Forman, the maker of Jack Daniels, also fell on this. And then iRobot shares down 36%. The company raising substantial doubt about its ability to continue operating, and its board has begun a formal strategic review to evaluate options, including refining its debt and exploring a potential sale. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that Amazon was going to buy this company for more than $1 billion. Now it's worth just a fraction of that, just over a market cap of just over $100 million.
I thought everyone loved this thing. Man, I'm a Dyson person, but I thought everyone loved the robot that cleans for you.
I just got one for my parents.
Yeah, the round thing that Roomba.
Yeah.
Roomba.
Yeah.
Roomba. I always say Roomba.
I think there are a lot of knockoffs.
So
There are a lot of knockoffs you can
So
buy.
apparently they can navigate around pets now. So
More like the dog will attack
I'm more
the
worried
room.
about
Yeah.
the dog navigating around the thing, which, no, that would be disastrous.
This makes a lot more sense. Okay, I'm going to the bond market here, guys, because we had a sell-off all across the curve, particularly in the front end, right? There's some repricing maybe after that cooler than expected CPI. But the 10-year auction came in. It was pretty strong. There was a solid bid to cover ratio. And we also have the 30-year coming tomorrow at $22 billion. So we're watching that. So a little bit of a dichotomy there, right? Strong demand, like the buying coming in there, but on a day-to-day basis, seeing some selling pick up.
All right, folks. So, thinking about the market trade today, we talked about the inflation print. We get another one tomorrow, so we'll see whether or not, because within that, there's actually a component that goes into the Fed's preferred inflation read. So whether or not that carries a little bit more weight on Wall Street, we'll see.
Sorry to cut you off, Carol,
that's okay.
but it's what I do. Adobe earnings out crossing the wire right now for the most recent quarter. The first quarter adjusted EPS did beat $5.08 a share. The Street was looking for $4.97 a share. Revenue also a slight beat at $5.71 billion. The Street looking for $5.66. Here's your guidance going forward. The company says that for the second quarter, adjusted EPS will come in a range of $4.95 to $5. The Street on average was looking for $5. Revenue for the second quarter will come in at $5.77 billion to $5.82 billion. The Street was looking for 5.8. So a modest beat for the most recent quarter, and for the quarter that we're currently in, it looks like the top end of the guidance that they're giving would match Street estimates.
all right, let's give you American Eagle, the once upon a time teen retailer. I don't know if it still caters to teens, but it's because 30-year-olds dress like teens and 40-year-olds dress like 30-year-olds now. Anyway, American Eagle fourth quarter earnings per share, 54 cents versus 3 cents year over year. Not sure if we're comparing like with like, but the net revenue here, $1.6 billion, matches analyst estimates. And what's interesting here is the commentary that American Eagle has given for this quarter, saying that entering 2025, the first quarter is off to a slower start than expected, reflecting less robust demand, and then, of course, blaming colder weather as well.
All right, folks, we have another earnings report crossing SentinelOne. Fourth quarter revenue, slightly better than what the Street was expecting, coming in at $225.5 million. The Street estimate was for $222.3 million. Fourth quarter adjusted EPS, 4 cents a share versus an estimate of 1.2 cents a share. And just a quick, I'm going to pull it up on my Bloomberg, and the stock in the aftermarket.
Down 12%.
Thank you very much.
Now
I don't know
15.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
There we go. It was a little slow.
It's going down.
All right. It is going down. It's down about 12%, so ouch.
This is Scarlett's favorite stock right now.
Is it?
Yeah, because I'm being facetious. She loves the ticker. It's a very simple ticker, S.
S.
Which used to be the Sears ticker. Remember that?
Yeah.
Until it became
my God,
SHLD.
yes, I do.
This is all like a stroll down memory lane.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, a story that caught our attention. I have no good segue
like,
here. There's a mansion in California. It's got 3 pools and a Shark Tank, and it's coming on the market for $59 million.
Shark Tank? No, thank you. What?
Is that it?
Sorry. Ooh, sorry. Oh, we are going to talk about this.
Okay, so the seller, this is according to the Wall Street Journal, is Lee Evans, a real estate developer. He set a record for the Coachella Valley when he purchased this house back in 2022. It's in Palm Desert for $42 million. This is according to Bighorn Properties, the organization with the listing. I don't know, Carol, you had me at Shark Tank. That sounds pretty good.
No, it's terrible. That's upsetting.
Who cleans it?
Horrible.
Who cleans it?
This is in the desert?
Yeah.
Can sharks survive in the desert?
No,
It's
it's in
inside
the
a tank, Romaine.
house. It's in the main house.
Oh.
Wait, the fish come with the
It's a
house or no?
hallway. It runs through an aquarium full of exotic
shark a
fish,
fish?
and beneath an overhead shark tank. Yeah.
Do you get the fish, though? Do you get the shark with the house?
I
Is
think
a
it all
shark a
comes.
fish, Scarlett? I don't want you to disrespect sharks.
Okay, sorry. Fish. Well, do fish are fish also in the Shark Tank? Can fish survive with sharks?
I don't know. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
do you feed
I mean,
it?
we can keep going. I don't know.
Existential questions during the close.
I think there might be 2 tanks.
Yeah.
There's an
Two
aquarium.
tanks. So
with
it's a nice
exotic
view,
fish,
but
and then
that
beneath
house is
an overhead shark tank.
Well, okay, quick question. If you had 59 million burned in a hole in your pocket, would you buy it?
No.
No, I'm terrified of sharks, guys. So this is
It's
really
in a tank, though.
literally my worst nightmare come true.
It
Be
could
a house with
it
a
could be
shark.
like a James Bond
Until like the high
villain.
fuel hits the Shark Tank and then everything comes crashing down. That was like a movie.
Does anybody have a shark fin? Can we just cue the shark fin effect for Alex?
Nope, that's copyright.
We have cricket.
Oh, we did
We
it.
have the cricket
Oh
effect.
my God! Romaine does shark. Love that. All right.
Wonderful.
We got to wrap. That's a run. We got to run.
Blew my street cred.
I know, totally. All right. That is our cross-platform coverage. We do it on radio, TV, YouTube, Bloomberg Originals, and wherever the sharks are. I think Alex is heading out, but Scarlett and Romaine are continuing on TV. We are going to continue on Bloomberg Business Week.